So, one of the first media institutions that will get the most people to watch our film would be one of the massive conglomerates, such as, for example, the biggest, Disney. Big conglomerates such as Disney will distribute our film to a wider audience compared to, let's say, smaller companies such as Parfait, because they have a lot more money. So they own their own distributors. This means that we would not have to care about having to distribute the film, as Disney own another company that can carry out the distributing. This is an example of vertical integration, such as for example Star Wars, which is produced by Lucasfilm, which is owned by Star Wars, and Lucasfilm do not have to worry about having their film distributed, as Disney themselves owns other companies that can do it for them. The positives of going with Disney is that they have a lot of money, so they can afford to pay for their films to be distributed in many different places, and they will also be able to distribute our film to many other countries around the world. Another positive of going with big conglomerates will be that they are more well known to most people compared to our small company, JCAD Pictures. So more people see it because when they see it's associated with a big conglomerate like Disney, which they know they would like because they've produced and distributed a lot of good movies, it creates a wider audience. But conglomerates like, for example, Universal might not be interested with distributing our film because of their business model. It is mainly their business model is to make a lot of money. So they make, for example, big blockbusters like how Disney owns Marvel, which makes the Avengers, and this will make them a lot of money. And this is the reason why they might not want to be associated with JCAD Pictures, because our film is not the biggest film and might not attain a large box office. As you can see from the top 5 highest grossing films of all time, they're all a mixture of big budget blockbusters that cost a lot of money to make and have cast with very famous stars in. Compared to our movie, which does not have a high budget and the cast is not the best known, so it is safe to assume that our film will not get the highest box office returns. So a big money making company like Disney would not have a real interest in our movie like ours, because it's not going to make them much money compared to, let's say, Star Wars, which is more critically acclaimed and is more well known. Another media institute that could be an option for distribution could be by simply putting it onto the internet. This makes it more widely available for our audience to watch. This also eliminates the need for people to illegally download a film on sites like Pirate Bay. Putting it online does not cost us anything, which is good for us because we don't have a very big budget. But a flaw with putting it on the internet is we do not get any money out of it, because nobody is having to spend money getting it on DVD or having to go to the cinema or paying for stream services. Putting it on the internet also widens our audience, because if someone watches it for free and then gives good reviews about it and then tells their friend, that means that friend might go to a shop and buy it on DVD or buy it online. A problem with putting online is that there are a lot of other movies that are online, meaning it means that it would be hard for our audience to find our film, because there are a lot of other films in the internet. And also the online world is very competitive because of, for example, like conglomerates, they have an advantage because they're more well known and they can afford for their film to be marketed more widely. I mean, people will actually tend to search for that film specifically. One of the ways we can distribute our film on the internet is by putting it on social media websites like Facebook or Twitter. This allows for our audience to have a greater access to it and allows for them to share the movie to their friends, and their friends can share it to their friends. It means it can mean more people see it. Also, we can put it on websites such as YouTube, which a lot of people go on, which increases our target audience. Another way of distributing our film is via going to smaller independent companies like Film 4 or BBC Films, instead of going with the bigger conglomerates like Disney, mainly because of how the small institutes are more interested in distributing small British films like ours than the big conglomerates like Disney, because unlike conglomerates, smaller institutes are more inclined to distribute a film for art, for acting, and not because it's a big blockbuster movie, which will only make money. And they will have more experience with distributing smaller films because they've been doing it for a long time before, compared to big conglomerates which are more mainly distribute big blockbusters, big movies with big budgets to a really big audience of people, meaning that people will be more likely to see the big blockbusters, but because the smaller institutes have more more experience, that means they'll be more effective at distributing the smaller ones. But one small institute cannot do it by themselves, so we would have to go to a few different ones to be able to distribute it to a bigger audience. So being able to go to different countries and speak to different distributing companies to be able to make sure that it has a wide enough range for people to see it, so people can see in, say, like China or Argentina. So we would have to physically go over there and go to actually speak to those distributors, compared to, let's say, conglomerate, which they don't have to, because for example, Disney, they own their own distributors over there, so they just need to tell them to distribute it and not have to worry about going to the place over there to go and see it.